Hello and welcome again to Chris's Caribbean Delights. And today I'm preparing pork shoulder for Father's Day. So I'm preparing it a couple days ahead so that it can marinate and have a wonderful flavor. And we're going to do a roasted pork shoulder. Well, actually, would be a good roasted pork shoulder. But first, in order to prepare this and marinate it, I'm starting by washing it off. I just give it a rinse. It's pretty lean, but I'll just take some of the fat off and clean that up a little. So I'll just take some of the fat off, clean it up, and then I'll start to clean another cleaning process that I usually do with some vinegar, lemon, and salt to get all that sticky, fatty thing off. Okay, I have a few bloody pieces here that I usually try to get off when I'm doing this. Get all that stuff off of there. Okay, that's pretty good. What I do now, salt, I use salt as an abrasive, so I would sprinkle a good amount of salt on there. Some vinegar. Rub this on all sides. See that murky water? That's what I want. I want to get that out of there. Throw that off. Put some fresh water in there. Lemon. A good amount of lemon juice after I get that murky water off. Scrape the skin just in case there's any residue on there. to talk about. So now it's in the lemon water. I just leave that in there. Leave it in there for about 30 minutes or so before I season it. In my blender bowl, I have some onions, some green seasoning, some cilantro, and and I'm putting some garlic in there. I'm going to grind this all up with just a little bit of water and some oil. And just add some green onions in there. Yeah, they're a little old, so you gotta pick off all that old skin, all that old leaves. I'll give it a rinse. Take the tops off. Rough chop. Piece of ginger. Just a little water to keep it going. Tablespoon of olive oil. Give it an enhancement with some Bullion. For some heat, I'm going to do the jalapeno. Just give this a rough chop. And that's about it. We'll cover this and we'll just let it just blend it all up. Sorry about the noise, but I'll just do this and I'll be back. I use a deboning knife to pierce holes in the skin. Yeah, I use a deboning knife to pierce some holes in the skin of the shoulder, so that the marinade can soak right in here. Turn it on the opposite side, and I do the same. I feel for the bone. Then I get into the bone and make some slits right next to the bone, so that I can get some marinade in there, right into the bone. Come on this side where this bone is at. Just cut around it. there on the top, right next to the bone here. Got some slits in there. Okay. Pierce some more holes in there. Anything you see needs to be cut out, you just cut it out. Nice cavity in there next to the bone. Then I get my ground seasoning, my blended green seasoning, and I pour this all over here. Get your hands in there and rub it in. Just make sure it goes into all the crevices. Get some right under the skin here. Remember, the jalapeno is in there, but you can still put some. About a tablespoon of ground black pepper. Some Himalayan sea salt. Remember all that salt you put in there, you just wash it out. With 2 teaspoons of Himalayan sea salt. Then I have my go-to bag here. This is my marinating bag. Just pick this guy up. Get him in that bag. And you take the rest of the marinade. Just get it all in here. "24 to 48 hours. We're gonna let it sit in here in the marinade. We turn it, just turn it around maybe every 8 hours or so. Or if you remember, once or twice will be fine. In the refrigerator, 24 hours, overnight, how much of a time you have. But I'll do this maybe 24 hours. Hello and welcome again. This is the continuation of the Father's Day roasted pork shoulder that I was doing for Father's Day. I marinated it in some lovely green seasoning, and now we're going to put it in the oven. After 24 hours, I took it out of the green seasoning and I applied a dry rub to it. Then I wrapped it again in some plastic wrap, and for another 12 hours, so that dry rub can really soak right in. So we have 2 layers of flavor going, and then we're gonna put it in the oven on a roasting pan, and it's gonna go there for maybe 4 hours or so at maybe 300, not maybe, but at 300 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're gonna roast it, and we'll keep checking it, basting it, and we'll go from there. So here we have it. This is my pork shoulder, and I have a little broth here, chicken broth mixed with some lemon juice, lime juice, and a couple other seasonings. I'm going to put everything in the description box below. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to score. I'm going to do some scores, and on the skin, this is the fat cap. We're not taking this off. You know, some people take it off, but I'm not taking it off. And then we're gonna really crisp it up, and you can enjoy every layer of flavor. So with a sharp knife, I'm not going to go all the way down, but just make sure that it separates, right, depending on how large slices you want. This is a very sharp paring knife I'm using. See? And this is going to help it to cook even better, cook very evenly. And the heat is going to penetrate right through there. All right. Just get one more on this side. Good. And then I'll turn it this way, and then I'll go from here. So you'll get those squares, that you can pick off. You can pick the squares off, And then I'm going to cover this, put it in for 2 hours covered. Then I'll open it, and I'll leave it open for another hour or so that everything gets really crisp, and we get some chicharron, as you might call it, right? Do another little dry rub kind of thing in between there. So let's get some dry rub and just throw it on there. And this is a wonderful dry rub. I'm going to definitely leave this recipe for the dry rub in the description box so you can have it. It's awesome. You may think it's a lot of stuff, but it is a lot of stuff. And okay, so that's my oven. My oven is ready. Now, so what we're going to do first, we're going to lay it on the skin side down. We're going to put it skin side down onto the roaster. I have this wonderful roaster here. I have this for years, and I use it every year for different things: turkey, chicken, everything. So first of all, let me just pour this in the bottom. This is that broth, the chicken broth, along with some lemon juice, lime juice. Yeah. And that's going to assist in the steaming and keeping it moist. So that's why I put that in there. Apart from the shoulder of itself, you see that? shoulder of itself. The fat melting and getting into the liquid and creating its own liquid, you know. That helps too. That adds more flavor. So we're gonna let this go. You see, the air is gonna pass all the way through, and it's gonna cook, you know, evenly. So I'm going to cover it for the first hour, and let it really build up some steam and build up some. Then I'll open it. I'll check it, and I'll open it and maybe turn it over. But so let's get it covered. Several sizes. Plastic wrap creates a seal and maintains that seal and makes it and allows it to cook quickly and evenly. So I'll just pull this all the way over, even to the handles, all the way over. Just make sure that it covers everything. Right, and then now we're going to get the heavy duty foil. You can use this way, this way. What we're going to do, I'm just going to go the same way I did with the plastic wrap. Get edges in there. Once the heat hits the plastic wrap, it's going to seal it. So into the oven at 300. Into the oven at 300. Right. And we always use this middle rack, so just get the middle rack. So it's in there for 3.5 to 4 hours. So we'll check it in about an hour and a half, and just to make sure, we'll check it in about an hour and a half, just to make sure that everything is going fine, and if we need to turn it. But I'll give it 2 hours. 2 hours before I really disturb it. I'm not going to disturb it for 2 hours. It's only at 300, so 300, that's a very good temperature, and it slow cooks and gets everything going after about an hour and a half. So just leave it alone, and we'll check it in 2 hours. And if we need to go an extra hour or extra 2 hours, well, then we'll do that. So be patient, and happy Father's Day. So, what a wonderful apron. It's a gift, and I love it. I just love it. The makers are ASAY. It's made in Florida, But it's wonderful. Comes with a bottle opener. You have all these packets. You have a cell phone for your cell phone, and forks, tasting spoons. You can do some tasting spoons. You can do. You can also do some. It's wonderful. So you can have all your gadgets on you, barbecuing, cooking. Yeah, you don't have to run around and look for stuff. You have them all with you. So it's a wonderful apron. I'm gonna post the link. So it's been in there for about 2.5, almost 3 hours, and we're gonna check it. We're gonna take a check and see the progress of our roasted pork shoulder. You see, this has created a seal. The plastic wrap has created a seal. See, let's take that off. And as you can see, okay, it's nice and tender. We're going to flip this over. Awesome. The skin is really soft. Wonderful. At this point, I'm just going to leave it open, put it back in the oven, and get the temperature up to like 475, so that I can crisp all the skin, crisp the skin, get it nice and crunchy. So let's do that. Let's crank it and get it up to 4. You can either do 475, or you can do the broiler. So we'll do 475. And from here on in, we're going to just baste every 20 minutes or 25 minutes, because it's going to be in here for another hour while it gets crisp. So we'll just continue basting. So let's get it back in the oven. And we're looking fantastic after 3.5 hours. So we just have maybe about a half an hour to go. And for that half an hour, 15 or 10 minutes, I'm just going to put it onto the broiler and let the broiler do its work. So on the skin, it's it already has a 165, some parts are 170, but the temperature is consistent with the pork, the roast temperature. So we'll just put it back in the oven, put it onto the broiler for about 10 minutes, and here we are, guys. The finished product, just out of the oven, and I have that nice charred skin that everybody loves. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is my roasted pork shoulder. My Father's Day tribute. Roasted pork shoulder. And it's Cuban style, and it's been in there for like 3.5 to 4 hours, and I've been basting it. It has a wonderful citrus flavor. I'm going to list all the ingredients in the description box below. So once again, roasted pork shoulder, Father's Day, a Father's Day tribute. Thanks again for watching. Thank you for your support, and I hope you have a wonderful Father's Day. Thanks again. Like, share, and subscribe.